71 straight home wins for South Carolina. And now we're ready for tip of our Sonic Blockbuster matchup. Chloe Kitts and the freshman Sarah Strong jumping up. Connecticut wins the tip, and here we go.
Matchup to keep your eye on. Bree Hall on Paige Bueckers. Bree Hall, a good long defender. Had that assignment a year ago as well.
Here's Chen trying to work her way through the paint. Alfie travels, and Connecticut turns it over. Not something they do often. He told us today he felt a little better than he has over the last few years because of them having a few more depth pieces. As Johnson can't hit the three, and Strong the rebound.
That play was initiated with an on-ball screen for Tahina Paopao. The way she is shooting the basketball, you have to fight over and send attention to her.
Bueckers gets free, can't dump it in. Rebound Kitts, able to rake it away from Bueckers. Here's Paopao, who led the nation in three-point shooting a season ago. This year going inside more, can't finish there as Alfie came over with the help. Bueckers in transition, pull-up three is good, and Paige Bueckers is on the board in Columbia. Wants that level of aggression from Paige Bueckers as well as Azzi Fudd. Chloe Kitts in the mid-range.
Solidifying got hit in the eye.
Alfie bounces underneath, and Strong lays it in. And South Carolina really feels her absence.
Especially on the defensive end, because she is such a good communicator and helps everyone know where they're supposed to be.
Here's the freshman Edwards floating it in. Now Alfie, oh, nice handle and the finish. Okay, 6'5". Here's Kitts. Wrapping in, meets bodies, and loses it out of bounds. Let's get an update on Sanaya Fagan from Holly Rowe.
Sanaya Fagan is in the vomitory right behind me, and she is getting an extensive examination on her eye. She's on the training table. They're really taking a good look at her. I'll keep you updated as far as we know.
All right, Holly, thank you very much. Certainly hope Fagan is all right and able to come back. As Azzi Fudd can't hit the jumper. You know, Ariema talked about the importance of her hitting ones early. Paopao connects.
While it can just bring so much energy on the defensive end, also in transition offensively.
Bueckers wiggles into a whistle on Fulwiley. The National Player of the Year is a freshman. Then last year in the 2025 WNBA draft. As Bueckers hits both. (9-7) Connecticut. Midway through the first. Fulwiley being harassed by Arnold. Fulwiley shovels underneath. Then Kitts can't lay it in. Gets it back and stuffs it home. Perhaps something South Carolina could take advantage of today. Here's Bueckers, pull-up jumper. Rims off. Alfie goes over the back and is whistled. Paige Bueckers now 2,136 points and counting. Just 20 behind D. On that list as well.
That's impressive.
Tied at 9. Under 4.5 to go in the first quarter. First of two games on ABC. The second one terrific as well. Texas and LSU. Here's Edwards. Edwards spins away from traffic, can operate as a point forward, and shows you why.
That was really impressive because Connecticut's defense had really stymied South Carolina doing much there, so Edwards just went one-on-one over a bigger defender.
First lead of the quarter for South Carolina. Alfie gets three. Good minutes early here for Alfie.
These are huge minutes for Alfie, and she's a player who sometimes through this season will miss that first one and relies on her offensive board to then finish. She has been a good finisher here early, Ryan.
Edwards off the double. Johnson can't hit the three.
And that's who you want to double off of if you're UConn, is Raven Johnson. She's not shot the three well.
Ashlyn Shade rings in a three. Here's Paopao. Off the fake, and the pull-up is short. And Sarah Strong the rebound. Fudd with some space again. Fudd putting it on the deck, wrapping it side, and reversing it home.
Dawn Staley told us that the #1 focus in this game for her team has to be transition defense.
South Carolina has won 71 straight home games as that pass goes out of bounds. Hit 8 threes. Over her last 5 games, she has shot it at 63% from 3. Bueckers sets the screen. Here is Fudd. 8 to shoot. Fudd gets it off to Bueckers. 5 to shoot. Bueckers into the corner. Arnold on the attack. Blurs in with the layup. And Connecticut has opened up a 7-point lead with a 7-0 run.
McDaniel's a very good defender. That was a tough move by KK Arnold.
9-0 in the last 3 minutes in favor of the Huskies. Pow connects. Rebecca, you talked about it earlier. When South Carolina needs a big bucket, Pow delivers.
She is massive, in particular in this game, because of the calming presence she brings.
Shade, you bet. Ashlyn Shade. Quite a few more threes than South Carolina if we are going to win this game. Has to like the early returns here. 3 for 5. Pow, not that time. Rebound knocked around, and that will do it for the first. Connecticut a 7-point lead after 1.
UConn Women's Basketball Managers provides terrific content. So, model of managerial excellence right there.
Rebecca highlighting a different manager each broadcast this season. And this is the stat we were talking about with South Carolina and the largest deficit they faced at home since 2021 after a first quarter. Here's Tessa Johnson. Always can be a difference maker off the bench. The sophomore, where he saw it last year in the national championship game, as a foul's called here on Ashlyn Shade. It's about the way Kitts has worked, the time she has spent in the gym getting better and better, and we've seen it in the production this season for Chloe Kitts. Kitts looking into Edwards, who has Bueckers on her back. Pow, 8 to shoot. Kitts looking in again, 5 to shoot, will put it up. Can't hit, and Shade the rebound. They wanted to go into Edwards on Bueckers, but couldn't quite find the angle.
There was enough congestion by the UConn help defense to make that a tough pass.
Azzi Fudd, Paige Bueckers, both 1 of 5 in that first quarter. But both aggressive. Here's Strong. Strong on the interior, flips it in. 7 to shoot. Connecticut defense really doing a nice job early against South Carolina. Pow flips it up, can't bank it in, and Fudd the rebound for the Huskies. Here's Azzi Fudd. Pops it out, Bueckers on the move. Ashlyn Shade lines it up. Again! Ashlyn Shade with her 3rd 3 of the half. Connecticut a 12-point lead, 2 minutes into the second quarter. A 17-3 run over the last 6 minutes for Connecticut. There's Maddie McDaniel. McDaniel, Euros inside, can't finish it, and Strong the rebound. Connecticut's done a nice job securing the defensive glass. Fudd connects! Connecticut piping hot from 3, and Dawn Staley needs a timeout.
They play pretty basketball. If we let UConn play pretty basketball, it's going to be a hard win. They want to be more aggressive physically, get them off their passing lanes, get them off of their tracks to the basket, particularly in transition. And then she also reminded them, we've got to move the ball. Just 2 South Carolina assists. Too much dribbling, not enough ball movement.
Yeah, Holly, it's looked at times as Edwards can't hit the jumper that they've almost been paralyzed by trying to exploit the mismatch in their half-court sets.
And it would be so much easier defensively if they can make a shot. Make UConn take it out of the basket. Go back and set.
Yeah, South Carolina now has missed 8 of their last 9 as Strong able to save it, and Bueckers able to finish it. What a big recovery there from Sarah Strong, and it leads to another bucket. Connecticut a 17-point lead. Edwards spins in and lays it home, plus the foul. Dawn Staley about Joyce Edwards, who she said, look, benefited from the consistent playing time. Here's Strong, guarded by Edwards, freshman on freshman. 2 of the best in the nation. Strong, back to Bueckers, a deep 3. Short, rebound Shade, again a winning play. Bueckers able to save it over to Fudd. Azzi Fudd separates, can't hit, and Fagan the rebound. Paul puts it down in the crowd, squeezes it out. Johnson dumps it in, and Fagan lays it home. Now Malaysia Full-Wiley will check back in. Picked up 2 quick fouls and headed back to the bench. Here's Fudd. Can't hit that one. Rebounds. Ashlyn Shade again able to save the possession for Connecticut. Bueckers whirls around. Fudd will drive it this time. The pull-up won't go. Azzi Fudd, a lot of good looks. Here's Full-Wiley in transition. Lays it in. Stanford had a stretch of 82 straight between 2007 and 2012.
Really good fronting defense by Joyce Edwards, not allowing Sarah Strong to get it in the pinch post.
Strong in the corner, connects on a contested three.
That's what Sarah Strong does. She is a terrific three-point shooter for her position.
Strong, the #1 recruit in the nation this season. Malaysia Full-Wiley. Nice pass back to Fagan. Deflected into the arms of Strong.
That's why you play defense with high hands. Get the little tip on that for El Alfi.
Strong dumps it down. El Alfi lays it in. 5 straight out of the timeout for Connecticut. Full-Wiley lost her footing and then the ball. Here's Bueckers with numbers. Bueckers dishes out. Chen will fire. And hit from 3. Connecticut 7 of 11 from downtown in this first half.
You don't quite have the same mismatches South Carolina doesn't when UConn has their bigger lineup on the floor in terms of going inside in the paint.
Paul stops on a dime and flips it in, plus the foul. The Shade checks out, so does Strong. Paul misses the free throw. Bueckers the rebound. Paige Bueckers with 6 assists in this first half.
Aubrey Griffin in for the first time. She can be a real energy player for the Connecticut Huskies.
South Carolina with Hall, Edwards, Pow, Tessa Johnson, and Raven Johnson.
It's a stagnant possession for UConn. Good defense by South Carolina.
Here's Chen. Pull up from the free throw line. Rims off. El Alfi the offensive rebound. Can't put it back in. Another chance. And she's fouled. El Alfi hits the first. After doing a terrific job with game day here in Columbia with these outstanding fans. As El Alfi hits both free throws, an 18-point Connecticut lead.
Ryan, it is striking. South Carolina only 10 rebounds so far in this game. Only 2 on the offensive end. They're not as dominant on the rebounding side as they have been in past years, but they're still a much better rebounding team than we've seen today.
Yes. You usually do not see them a -9 on the glass.
Yes.
Johnson lost the handle. Arnold comes up with it. Nice dish to Chen. 2-on-1. Fudd back to Chen for the lay. Here's Raven Johnson. That's where Alfie is from. Sakima Walker travel. 3 championships in that time. Chen short on that one. Follows it up. Bree Hall on the floor for it. Able to win the possession for South Carolina. Pow flips it off. Tipped out of bounds. Last touch Raven Johnson. It is Connecticut basketball. Arnold has to get it in. Lofts it back for Strong.
Set a ball screen there, yeah.
Strong, a 3. Back ironing off. Tessa Johnson comes in for the rebound for South Carolina. Immediately trapped in the backcourt. Pow gets it up to Raven Johnson, and it's taken away by Strong. Strong with Fudd, throws it at her feet, gets it back, and lays it in. 22-point lead. An 11-0 advantage in points off of turnovers. 2-second difference, game and shot clock. Hall dipping inside. Bree Hall can't finish. Rebound Strong. Still time for Connecticut. 5 seconds left. Bueckers catch, fire. No. Long rebound, and that'll do it for the first half. an absolutely dominant opening half from Connecticut here in Columbia. This is the largest home deficit they've faced since December of 2018 against Baylor. And Connecticut actually won the battle in the paint in that first half, while also holding South Carolina to its lowest scoring quarter of the season with 9 in that second. It's a really electric crowd that's been waiting to see South Carolina go on a run.
These first few minutes hugely important for that, Ryan. South Carolina wants to get that crowd engaged again.
Bueckers out to Chen, her three. Missed it badly, too much on it, and Fagan the rebound. There's Raven Johnson trying to push pace underneath. Kitts has it stripped by Chen. Now Alfie there as well. Chen doesn't see the numbers, will peel back out.
You heard the studio crew talk about it at the half, the importance of Connecticut's defense taking away the paint.
And Azzi Fudd has looked good, hasn't shot it well in this game. Fagan can't hit the jumper, Kitts the O-board, Kitts the putback.
Chloe Kitts really does a good job with that, game in and game out, getting second opportunity.
Chen through the lane, flips it in.
Caitlin Chen has also been pretty solid for UConn, looking for her offense.
Pow to the corner, Hall can't hit, rebound Bueckers. Here's Bueckers, swiftly up the floor, Fudd at three, is good! Connecticut pouring it on in Columbia, it's a 27-point lead.
Ryan, this is a different UConn team than we've seen in any of their other big-time matchups this season. The confidence, their ability to hit from deep.
Chen comes in, Kitts still comes away with it. Kitts turns the corner, can't bank it in. Fagan able to finish through the contact. Chen lobbing it in, strong the seal and the finish.
Much like the matchup a year ago, UConn also being very intentional, pushing pace, taking shots early, looking for the best shot they had the first time around. Oftentimes, they switch sides of the floor, a little bit more methodical offensively.
Bree Hall's pull-up is good.
She's been really good getting to her mid-range spots, Ryan.
Here's Fudd, fakes the three on the drive, lays it in. Well, one of the things you talked about was how much more difficult it can be to hit shots in the environments that they've played in where they have lost games, whether it was at Tennessee, at Notre Dame, here today at Columbia, where they finally have hit shots.
And we're talking about the pace of play. What's different about UConn this year than in previous years? They finally have depth.
Yeah.
They have players who can come in off the bench and sustain this pace.
27-point advantage for Connecticut. Chen dives in, can't finish but gets fouled.
They had size and depth in the paint. They were able to really get out defensively and disrupt South Carolina.
This is a big hole now for South Carolina at 28 points. Where does Dawn Staley go to try and get her group back in this game?
They've got to get stops. They got to get something in transition, and Pow's not on the floor now, but they're going to need some threes.
What a pass.
And different from the first half when South Carolina had their big lineup in, when UConn went small, now South Carolina going small with UConn small.
Holly?
For Dawn Staley, and as part of winning the MVP of that camp, she got to be a ball girl for a day. She got to meet her hero and idol, Asia Wilson. She's just 12 years old in that photo, so she's right at home here in Colonial Life.
I mean, so cool, Holly, as Wiley comes through with a ridiculous rejection. And she sparks some life into South Carolina. Wiley gets fouled, and Mylasia Wiley. And for Wiley.
And many of those losses for Connecticut to South Carolina were 20-point losses.
Right.
Like, no one expected what we've seen so far here in these first 2.5 quarters. South Carolina now picking up in full court pressure.
Azzi Fudd makes the catch, crosses the timeline. Out to Bueckers, back to Fudd, wide open. You bet! Azzi Fudd. You know, this is a rare game for Bueckers and Fudd to be together as Tessa Johnson can't hit the three. Remember, they intended on playing their entire careers here together in Connecticut, but because of the injuries they both have suffered, this is just the 36th time of 139 games that they've been on the floor together, and you see how good it can look when it's at its best. Fudd Zips in, bounces to Griffin, waits, and gets fouled by Raven Johnson. 15 points for Fudd, and also big that it didn't start great as far as the result. Bueckers, meanwhile, has 9 assists, has tied her season high, and the Connecticut lead is 29 over South Carolina.
Connecticut also now extending their pressure after the free throw.
Bree Hall buries the three.
That's a good start. That's a good start for South Carolina. They're going to have to make some from deep, create some turnovers, get transition as well.
Their third three of the game. Azzi Fudd fakes the three, drive, kick. Shade hit her first three from deep, and Bueckers turns it over.
And there's the stop.
To get them fired up. Here's Pow. Dumping it in, Edwards lays it home. There's that pick and roll with Pow and Edwards. Asia's number 22 going up into the rafters a couple weeks ago as Shade leaves that one short. Griffin the rebound, Fudd in the corner, connects! Azzi Fudd has hit her last 5 and is up to 18 points. South Carolina, as Fudd is called for the foul and free throws for Pow. Talking about over 60% from 3.
Not play against Notre Dame because she was injured. In the USC loss, it was her first game back, so it was in limited minutes.
Wiley comes up with a steal and lays it in.
She's done her part to get this crowd engaged and involved.
Bueckers to the corner, Fudd. Does she get the roll? She does. She has 16 points in the quarter. Bree Hall can't hit. Here's Fudd out in transition. Azzi Fudd lays it in. You're right, Rebecca. Normally it's Strong who went out with her third foul. 10 seconds left in the third. Here's Griffin turning the corner, storming in, can't finish. Arnold there. Arnold can't get it to drop. Able to save it, and that'll do it for the third. Connecticut a 26-point lead after 3. Azzi Fudd, 18 in the frame.
What a 10 minutes for Azzi Fudd.
And South Carolina's largest home loss under Dawn Staley was 31 points versus Stanford, December of 2008, as Wiley lays it in.
Little on-ball screen for Malaysia Wiley to use her quickness and explosiveness to get to the rim.
Sarah Strong back in, sat for a while after picking up her third foul in that third. But Connecticut was able to have success with their extremely small lineup. Azzi Fudd dances inside and finishes. Azzi Fudd, who has been projected to go as high as number 3 in this upcoming WNBA draft, has been showing everything in that pro bag today. McDaniel misses the first. For a little more on Azzi, let's check in with Holly.
You talked about the mental strength that Azzi Fudd has had to deal with. She overcame a very significant knee injury that was in high school. Got to UConn. She's had 2 more knee injuries here. She has been in rehab more than she's been in games in the last 2 years. She actually said it's been very difficult. She started seeing a sports psychologist this year to help her process, help her move on from tough moments. And Azzi Fudd showing us maybe one of her best mentally strong performances of her career today.
Fudd step back 3 is good. Pow evades the pressure and lays it in. Really nice as a team to continue to build in your season. And you could hear that where she was just talking to Holly about just focusing on playing with a little more toughness, trying to take that then back into conference play. As Wiley shovels it in, plus the foul. Malaysia Wiley. Wiley completes the 3-point play. Bueckers can't hit the 3. Shade, another offensive rebound. So number 4 on Strong. Fudd in and out. Everything has looked spot on for Fudd as she finds Strong, who lays it in, plus the foul, and a chance for 3 for Sarah Strong. And Strong, what's at stake? Well, UConn 15 20-point wins against the AP Top 5 in the last 25 seasons. It's a terrific atmosphere, a student section wonderful here in Columbia. But Connecticut came out red hot from 3, and they have not looked back as Strong gets fouled. and on the floor with Bueckers dishing, who has 10 assists today. Sarah Strong at the line.
Played in the WNBA, and I talked to her about, what is your relationship with your parents like? Danny Strong, her father, was also a terrific player at NC State, and she said they have been the most wonderful blend of loving and critical. After her high school games, they would all watch film together on Zoom, even if they were in different places. Her parents have nurtured her, have loved her, but also been very hard on her.
I don't know what happened. Allison didn't deliver Sarah here to South Carolina rather than to Connecticut, but then Dawn went on to say she was happy for her and could tell the rhythm of her game, the fit with Connecticut.
Dawn should not feel bad. I think the proximity of Allison working for the Boston Celtics organization, that is much closer to UConn if Mom wants to come and watch games. So this is no shade on Dawn. Let's be clear.
No. I'm pretty sure South Carolina's done just fine recruiting for a while.
And talking about the post-game Zooms and breaking down film together, Sarah said, my parents were always asking, is this too much? Is this okay? Very aware.
Yes. Bueckers buries the three and then says, thank you, Lord, for getting one. Cutting through, leaves it short. Strong, another rebound. Her 12th. Up ahead, Chen alone lays it in. It is a 29-point Connecticut lead. And it has been all UConn since late in the first. They were down 11-9, went on a 9-0 run, and never looked back.
This has been a stunning course of events. I did not expect this at all.
Joyce Edwards has shown brightest for South Carolina today. The freshman with 17, as for Wiley gets called for the foul.
No, I don't think for Connecticut coming in, the players or the coaches care very much about that. What region they're in. They lost at Notre Dame. They lost at Tennessee. How do they handle these environments?
Against Tennessee, against Notre Dame. Look as opposite that as you possibly could here today. All cosmetic at this point. 36 seconds remaining. And South Carolina's 71-game home winning streak is going to end here today. Last time South Carolina lost at home, we got to go back to December 3rd, 2020. Game day earlier today with El Chune and Drea. Griffin puts it up. Adele Tack with the rebound. But Wiley will get it across the timeline. And that will do it. A dominant performance from the Connecticut Huskies as they take down South Carolina 87-58 the final. South Carolina's 71-game home winning streak ends